It's New Comic Day, and there's a lot that I'm looking forward to this week. I'm especially excited for the new Lobo book, and there's also a new Absolute Batman, which is going to be the first full appearance of Absolute Scarecrow. So, a lot of very exciting things this week. So, let's get on out of here. I'm going to head over to Queen City Bookstore. So let's go check out those new releases, and before the camera was even rolling, I had already grabbed a couple books, so I had my copy of Absolute Batman and Lobo. I was really liking that red coat cover. And that was a cool variant cover for Batwoman, but I didn't end up picking that one up. But real quick, I'm going to take you guys back to the front of the store because get a load of this. Look at all these CDs, guys.
I'm not into outdoor shows. I like indoor shows.
I really wanted to have a look at these CDs because I am one of those people that still collects CDs, and I tend to have a hard time finding a lot of the music that I'm looking for. And I apologize, there was a lot of glare on these CD cases. They did have the door open, so there was a lot of sunlight coming in. It was a little bit awkward, so you can't really see a lot of what was in here, but I did wind up picking up a few CDs from this. I'll have to show you guys when I get home. They had the CDs for $4 a piece, or it was 3 for $10, and I did want to take advantage of that. I actually forgot to film one of the boxes, so I did go back to those before leaving the store, and I wound up getting a few really cool things. I'm actually probably the most excited about the CDs I picked up today, not gonna lie. And of course I had to do a little bit of dollar bin diving. Found a copy of Azrael #1. Thought that was a pretty good find for a dollar bin. A DC sampler. Some weird war tales from Vertigo. Those looked pretty interesting. And I ended up finding a Lobo book that I don't already have to go along with the other Lobo book I'm picking up today. This is probably the weirdest thing I've ever pulled out of a box. Okay. I think that's a Mark Brooks variant too. They are not. Those ones are alphabetical, but these ones are just free for all.
It was sucking it up like a vacuum.
I have pictures of that. You could actually see an ice wall. It looked straight out of Game of Thrones. Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, it was the wall.
Exactly.
What do we think? Yeah. You can handle it? I can handle it.
And there's another Detective Comics book that I still needed. And I took a quick peek in the other dollar bin section, and I found a copy of Gotham&Glam #1. I have no idea what these greatest hits books are, but they look interesting. And these actually got my attention here because these books were actually published in Buffalo. So I decided to pick those up. I always like to check out local comics. And like I said, they're always getting new and exciting things in at Queen City Bookstore, and they're getting ready for a comic show at the end of the month. So they let me get the first look at this new box of trade paperbacks. Yeah, I'm sure all that and trying to get ready for a show was a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, and I'm used to having the extra person in the store.
Yeah, I gotcha. I've never even seen a collected version of this before.
Yeah, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's always cool seeing some of the out-of-print trades and seeing, like, what they print all the time and what they kind of forget about. What the heck is this?
You know, it's like they print stuff based on, like, what's popular at that minute.
I've never heard of this before. English adaptation. So this, this is this is an adaptation of a manga, I think.
Is it a Batman manga?
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
I've never heard of that. I might actually take this one.
I've seen a 60s manga before, like...
Definitely looks like manga art.
Yeah.
You're stealing more shit than you're buying.
Oh dear goodness, there's a couple pages that are in here just folded up. See this?
Oh, bummer. Well, it'll flatten out.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick this up. I've never seen this before. Interesting.
This cover, brother.
I can't hear low stuff at a distance. I hear high pitch perfectly.
It's all those loud rock concerts you went to.
Well, yeah, it is, and you know
back in the day.
Lately, I've been, the last couple of years, I listen more on the headphones, and I get cranky sometimes.
Dude.
Because my wife doesn't want to hear. I don't have a stereo anymore, so and it sounds so good when it's loud enough, And I'm from the rock world, the rock era.
The rock world.
Yeah, whenever we go to concerts, Luke wears ear protection, like hearing protection. I'm like, my hearing
some
is
of these bands
far
the
gone.
guy on the floor with the sound machine, he's cranking it to like 12 on the encore song. It's like, dude, you're killing me.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a time we were seeing it was a Slayer show, and there were a bunch of openers.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been to at least 4 of their shows.
Slayer.
But there was a Slayer show, and every time we saw them, Lamb of God was opening, and oh my goodness, their set is so loud. Yeah. But you know what? The loudest concert I think I've been to was Metallica in Toronto at the Rogers Center.
It was much healthier. They sounded much better.
Yeah.
But the club was small, and it was like mega loud, and I couldn't really leave. And I had, my ear actually was hurting me. It was so fucking loud. I knew I was going to be in trouble at this one, and I think that's why this one's fucked. I want to go over to the fucking sound desk.
It all depends, like sometimes the angle and how close you are.
Well, the distance from where they were playing into the back of the bar was like,
Right.
They could have been playing on my sidewalk, and where we're standing right now is the crowd.
Right.
And it was just disgustingly loud, and it got louder. I could sense it was happening.
So I would say that's a pretty successful day. I got some new books. I got to do some dollar bin diving. I got a cool trade paperback. And I got some CDs as well. So I'll start with the new books since it is New Comic Day. I picked up Absolute Batman number 19. Great cover by Nick Dragotta as always. And this book is the first appearance of Absolute Scarecrow. Right there. So, pretty cool book. Had to pick that one up. And the next one I got that I'm really excited to crack into is Lobo number 2. I did read the first one by Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. And Lobo is going to be the guest on a reality show. It seems like they're having a lot of fun making this book, and I'm having a lot of fun reading it. So definitely check out Lobo if you haven't. And I picked up another one of the DC Next Level books that came out today. I grabbed Deathstroke issue number 2. I still have to read my issue number 1, but I have a feeling that I'm probably going to like it, so went ahead and got issue number 2. And the last book I picked up today was Redcoat 17. This is the cover B, and the reason I got this is because this is a Kyle Hotz variant, and as soon as I saw this, I recognized the art, and that's because this guy, I'm pretty sure, worked on the Lobo cancellation special. I think it was like a pair of brothers that worked on that book, and this is one of them, and you can definitely tell the similarities if you've read that book, so very cool stuff right there. And then I did a little bit of dollar bin diving, so we'll kind of go through the dollar bin books kind of quick. Picked up Azrael #1 from Azrael's first ongoing series. Just thought that was a cool dollar bin find. We have Detective Comics 984. This is the Mark Brooks variant, and I think it's an absolutely gorgeous cover, and Mark Brooks has been making a bit of a name for himself lately, so maybe an artist to look out for. But either way, I just thought that this was really cool, and I wanted it in my collection. Another detective comic book that I did not have in my collection yet was 1001, and this is the book where the Arkham Knight joins the main continuity. I think the character's first introduced in Detective 1000, but that's an anthology book. I don't think that one is actually considered canon, so this is the first time the Arkham Knight was considered canon. If you don't know, the Arkham Knight was actually originally Jason Todd in the video game Arkham Knight. They kind of pulled one over on the fans saying the Arkham Knight was going to be an original character, and it was not. It was just Jason Todd. So they kind of wrote their wrong and created a new character. I have seen this character pop up a couple times, not too often, but still figured I would pick this up for $1. And then I got a Lobo one-shot, Portrait of a Victim. This is just one that I did not have. I've seen this one a bunch in dollar bins. I just never got around to picking it up, so figured I would get it, fill that hole in my Lobo collection. And then the last couple books I got from the dollar bin were some things I have never heard of before. It's called Deathstorm, and you got this big, muscly guy that looks straight out of a 90s comic. We have Deathstorm #1, and then we have Deathstorm Blood Brothers #1, so maybe these are just like some one-shots. I was kind of interested in them because they looked kind of heavy metal-esque. And they're all in black and white, and I'm just kind of a sucker for black and white as well. And then as I was flipping through it, I noticed on the front cover that it says these books were published in Buffalo. So I mentioned that to Emil, the owner of Queen City Bookstore, and he didn't even know about that. So he was looking to see if he recognized anyone that made the book, and that guy, Dennis John Galinsky, I think he said he's actually going to be at the next Buffalo Comic Con, and so is your girl, so maybe I'll have to bring these and see if I can get him to sign that. Because, of course, have to have a shameless plug for the Buffalo Comic Con, Saturday, April 25th. And there's actually one more dollar book that I almost forgot. Batman Underground #1. I just picked this up because it's a Batman book that I did not already have, so why not? I don't know. It's a #1, one of 9, so maybe I'll have to pick up that full set eventually. And as you could see in the video, I got one graphic novel, trade paperback, I guess. I don't really know that much about what this is. This is Batman Child of Dreams. It says English adaptation by Max Allan Collins. And it appears to be some kind of like a manga-inspired Batman book. I don't think that this was actually released in Japan. I think this was just a United States release, just inspired by manga. Let me know if anybody knows a little bit more about this, but I just thought it was interesting. I never see anything like this. So I would love to know a little bit more about this. I thought I knew about pretty much every Batman story, but I guess not. So yeah, I don't know, but it's a thick trade paperback, and he sold it to me for $10, so not a bad deal. And the last thing I grabbed was actually a stack of CDs. So Queen City Bookstore, for a shop that boasts about being all about the comics, I seem to keep finding a lot of non-comic things there. I think last time I was there, they had a box of VHS tapes, and this time they had a bunch of CDs. They were $4 a piece, or 3 for $10. And I was seeing a bunch of rock and metal, so I didn't really film that much, but I think it gave you guys an idea of what kind of music was in there. I kind of have a hard time finding the stuff that I'm looking for. I have very specific tastes, so when I go out to like a thrift store or an antique shop, they usually don't have the kind of stuff that I'm looking for. So when I saw a bunch of CDs at the comic shop, I was kind of expecting the same kinds of stuff I would see at a thrift store, and I was actually very pleasantly surprised. So I grabbed a few CDs. They were $4 a piece, or 3 for $10, so I decided to take advantage of the 3 for $10. And one of them was Black Sabbath, We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll. This is just like a greatest hits of Black Sabbath, and the reason I picked this up is because this CD I'm pretty sure my mom actually had when I was a kid. I'm sure she still does, but she played this in the car a lot when I was growing up. So this is the CD that introduced me to Black Sabbath. Even though I have some of their other albums, I figured this would be cool to put on occasionally and just kind of relive those memories of discovering really cool music in my mom's car. And the last 2 CDs I picked up, I'm actually really, really excited for, and I'm really excited to tell Luke about it. He is not home yet, but I know he is going to be super excited about this. These are CDs by the band Megadeth. We have So Far, So Good, So What, their 3rd album. I did not have a copy of this, and what's really cool is that these are actually the original pressings, so these have been reissued. From what I've heard, the reissues are a bit notorious for not sounding as good as the originals. So to find the originals for such a cheap price, I was super excited, and we did not have this CD yet, so there's another one added to the Megadeth collection. But this is the one I was really excited to find, because they also had Rust in Peace, the 4th album that comes immediately after that. This one, So Far, So Good, So What, was from 1988, and Rust in Peace came just 2 years later in 1990, and I do have a copy of this that I've had since I was in high school, and that copy is the reissue. And at that time, I was a kid, I just bought whichever one was cheapest. But these just, I gotta tell you guys, these do not come up often. If you do a search for this CD, you're probably gonna find the reissue. You can find that for $10 to $15 all day, but this one, I was seeing people list this for like $45, and there were people buying it for that price. Because you just really can't find these. Pretty much everything you're going to find is going to be the reissue. And there are some light scratches to the disc. I'm not sure how well they're showing up on camera, but nothing that was too deep. And for the price to get an original pressing of this, I absolutely had to do it. So we got 3 pretty cool CDs, all for $10. I'm super stoked about it. So let me know what you guys thought about it. Did you guys pick up any new comics today? Do any of you still collect CDs? Do you know anything about that Batman graphic novel that I got? Let me know. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good day and peace out.